Okay, good day and happy spring equinox to everyone. Heather has no brain here and talking a little bit about hydrogen. Was trying to upload this video, same video, it was the third attempt actually, to Facebook to answer some questions for a recent acquaintance made on Facebook regarding uh, hydrogen and extended gas mileage. So this video is an informative one for the electrolysis of water, which the byproduct of electrolyzing water with electricity is HHO, two hydrogens and an oxygen. And you take them apart, and that's Brown's gas. Also, he's the one that discovered it. Has many uses. It's a very good supplemental fuel that I've found to employ under the hood of any vehicle. Anything with an internal combustion motor can stand to benefit from a little bit of hydrogen being run in, introduced through the air intake portion of the fuel. Every combustion motor uses a certain ratio of air to gasoline or diesel for the combustion, and so we're sending a little the equivalent of it's just it's a minuscule amount of hydrogen when you think of the volume of air that's being pulled into the motor that is actually very effective at cleaning things up in there. So anyway, it effectively is an octane booster through the air portion rather than say an octane booster that you pour in with your gasoline. So we're taking an octane booster and just giving it a little bit different form. The photo I posted on Facebook, I was holding up uh, the set of stainless steel tubes, and I'm going to bring them in closer so you can see. And you see this one's not evenly spaced. It's sloppy, but in any case, this is a set of electrodes, stainless steel components. The inside tube and the outermost tubes are each 318 grade stainless steel and non-magnetic. It's good to keep magnetism out of the stainless that you want to use in the electrolysis of water. Um, your stainless holds up a lot better without that magnetic property present. So when I bring this in closer here, you can see that these fasteners are not the same. This one is smaller, and it is also longer, and you can see it passes through the inside tube there. What I did was I drilled them out and then tapped that hole. So the act of threading this down in there would essentially pull this up and keep it steady. So my spacers there are on either side of this cutout groove notch here. I've got a vinyl spacer. And what I did was I took the vinyl tubing and I just cut it down into little pieces. But what I had as far as vinyl tubing at the time, the wall of it was not adequately thick enough to be an effective or a real good shim. So even this set, those never been fired up. I'm gonna rework it and make sure that those gaps are constant and even all the way around, because where the gap gets tighter, that creates more heat and challenges your metal more, and you can run into the potential of galling the metal when it gets too hot and too much activity going on it. It's like burning something in a frying pan. Same thing. It seems that this is a technical process, and I apologize that the verbiage or the lingo, the words that I use, may seem to get technical, and I don't mean to, because really it's simple enough for me to understand. I'm not electrically savvy. So there you have it. Pardon me. My body's working through some stuff, so if I get sniffles or to wipe my nose or cough or something, forgive me. I don't mean to be offensive, but it doesn't dim my spirit any. I'm still excited about hydrogen. Okay, but Tom Kellerman This is something that I thought would be good, actually anybody and everybody, to demonstrate, because I had such a beautiful opportunity here when a couple friends out here want some hydrogen, and then I'm getting ready to put it in their vehicles for them, and I'm looking forward to it, totally forward to it. This is one set of the metals. I showed you these. They're connected in series. Held them up, but I'm just gonna kind of fan them out so you can see, and you can see that the inside tube and that. Apologize. I wasn't trying to do that, but anyway, it connects the inside tube to the next outside tube, inside tube to the next outside tube, and then my inside tube C. So that's called series. And then parallel is where I have, and this set's one that I've already started dismantling for the reconditioning and demonstration and stuff. But when they're connected parallel, see, I've got this. You can tell I really upload a lot of videos here, but you can see these three connectors are all hooked together, and they are all the same style connector that goes through the inside tube here. And I'll try to work with you better, but I've already started taking them apart, so the gap's not even and whatnot, but know that before this would ever get put in the vehicle, those gaps would be ideal and even. But all of the inside tubes were connected to the negative wire. All of the outside tubes on this parallel were connected to the positive wire. Negative, yeah. Okay. So the negative, you see the tubes that were connected to the negative lead are much brighter. Of course, the sun's not really. Let me hold it this way so you can see contrast. The tubes that were connected to the negative lead are a much brighter metal. The tubes that were connected to the positive are darker. And when I hold it this way, you can kind of see a red hue reflective inside that tube, and that's because this one was predominantly connected to the positive wire, so it attracted the oxygen to it. The oxygen is the negative value of the water molecule. So this was constantly drawing the oxygen to it, and this one was constantly drawing the hydrogen to it. So this is a very good visual reference of how much of a cleaning agent the hydrogen is. So, but in order to do a unit justice, if I'm going to connect my metal in parallel and run it that way, which is more of a brute force, direct kind of punch with the electricity, I would do it justice by switching my leads. Like say every time I stop and fill a tank of gas, I should be willing or able to just switch that positive and negative lead to each other and let it give equal exposure and equal work on each piece of metal, and that prolongs the life of it. Now, given that I started with a 318 grade to begin with, I still have I still have thousands of hours, especially if I maintain this set of metal from here on out. But something else that's worth it to show you. This is one of the tubes of this parallel set, and I've already started. I took an emery cloth to it to kind of renew the surface, refresh the surface. But you can still see here an outline where the metal is. That was where I had one of these vinyl shims. You see, and though it's not a real distinct amount of material offset, but those lines show you that where those vinyl shims are, that does not conduct electrolysis there because the water can't get to the surface of the metal and therefore be exposed in the process. Yeah, I know. Okay, got it. For a second I thought, have I been doing all this talking and not recording? Oh my gosh, there's tub number 3 going down the tubes. Tubes. Anyway, no, hydrogen is good stuff, but you can see that the metal there's more material there because that's where the shim was, and so effectively, the hydrogen did remove the impurities within this stainless steel when and where it could come into contact with it. So that's kind of what I have to say about electrolysis. Just a real quick tidbit, as far as electrolytes, if you're gonna run a DC system like this, or something under the hood that's on a 12-volt system, um, stay away from sodium hydroxide as an electrolyte in an automotive application. I say this because you anymore so many engine components are made out of aluminum, and if you're gonna have a hydrogen unit or a water electrolyzer unit, you're gonna be making hydrogen and oxygen. You're gonna have electricity present, and you're gonna be making a little bit of heat. Now, if people get to running too much of or get too much electricity going to them, and you get more heat, you get more steam present. And when you get more steam present in your Brown's gas, that steam has the capacity, because it's water molecules that can in the air. It can carry the sodium hydroxide with it on the water molecule, and it does make it to your aluminum components, and it's not user friendly. You'll lose a lot of compression values if with prolonged exposure if you're currently using sodium hydroxide as an electrolyte. Calcium hydroxide seems to be a very stable and a very promising electrolyte. Mind you, I've got about 300 to 500 hours using the calcium hydroxide as the electrolyte, and I gotta say I really like it so far. It's just it's a lot more stable. It has a ceiling. It's not overly soluble to a critical point. It's just and it is a lot more inert in and of itself. Calcium is, I believe. So anyway, there's other little things and tidbits, but I'll wait until the inquiries come up, because I've given a whole lot of information for now. But the destiny of those metal electrode units that I've shown you, these apparatuses, what I would do is have a lead set or connector set that would also come, be connected to each of those tube sets, and would run and pass through the lid of this unit, so that I could connect my electrical wires at the top, and I have this lid. This lid, FYI, candles at Walmart, the 4-inch candles. That's what this lid came on, and it works perfect with this 4-inch composite acrylic. Let's see, I think it's a real strong 1/8-inch wall, and there's debris in there, but it'll be cleaned out. I'm a dudette. I'm not a scientist. I'm not. I'm here to help. I'm here to help heal. I'm here to help clean the air. I'm here to help people with the harmonies of things and liberation in life, and freeing ourselves of a little bit of static. So that's my endeavor. That's hydrogen as a supplemental fuel. These are, this is my experience, strength, and hope, and sharing of knowledge and experience, strength, and hope. Anybody having more interest, please feel free to email me. haz-know1, HAZKNOW, and the number 1, at yahoo.com is my email. You can find me on Facebook as Heather Has No Brain, and we'll go with the e-contact first, and then we'll see if it's required. I can be available telephone or in person. So happy spring equinox to everybody, and here's a little bit of sunshine and a way to put it under the hood of your car and be able to clean out a little bit. And love you, see you, bye.